Are you giving phone to your kids? You're not alone. Most parents do that. But you'll be shocked to know what these gadgets does to your kids' eyes and health in general. I'm Dr. Ayyappa. I'm an eye specialist, and in this video, I'll tell you the effects of these screens on your kids. We'll also discuss the screen time guidelines as per kids' age, and towards the end, we'll discuss a unique method to reduce your kids' screen time. We give phone to our kids. We start when they are small because they are not eating. We continue to give because now they have started eating our heads. And when they reach school age, we need not give them because they would have already snatched it from our hands. Whatever is the reason, the number of kids using the screens increased a lot. And you must have observed that the number of kids with eyeglasses also increased a lot. In fact, it is estimated that by 2050, almost half of the world's population will have nearsightedness or myopia. So, is there a relationship between the screen usage and the myopia? In a recent article published in Lancet Journal, the researchers have concluded that smartphone device exposure might be associated with increased risk of myopia or nearsightedness. Although we can't say that screen time can lead to short sight at this moment, but there is a growing evidence that in kids who spend more time with gadgets, myopia or short sight is occurring earlier, progressing faster and stabilizing at higher powers. Not just glasses. As the kids tend to blink less, it can lead to dry eyes. It can also lead to eye irritation, eye redness, and as the eye muscles get strained, it can lead to blurred vision, headaches, and fatigue. If you are thinking that these screens affect only the kid's eyes, then you are wrong. These screens also affect the overall health of the kid. The blue light that is coming from the screens affect the kid's sleep. These sleep disturbances cause release of a hormone which increases the kid's hunger. This combined with reduced physical activity leads to obesity. Excess screen time is also associated with delayed language development, learning and reading problems. They tend to perform poorer in schools. Exposure to violent content can lead to aggressive behavior, anger, depression. They also not tend to socialize much and can lead to behavioral problems. But these digital devices are not always bad. The right content can enhance learning, abstract thinking, problem-solving skills. The children can also develop creative and artistic skills. So, excess of anything is bad, and it's the same with screen time too. The key here is that it should be done in moderation. So, how much of screen time is good? The Indian Academy of Pediatrics has released screen time guidelines based on age. Children below 2 years should not be exposed to any screens. They also emphasize that screen media should not be used to facilitate feeding or calm a crying child. For kids from 2 to 5 years, limit screen time to a maximum of 1 hour per day, and the lesser the better. Children of this age should have at least 3 hours of physical activity of any intensity. Coming to children of 5 to 10 years of age, limit screen time to less than 2 hours per day. Again, the lesser the better. At least 1 hour per day of physical activity. Coming to adolescents, that is 10 to 18 years of age, screen time should be balanced with other activities that are required for the overall development. These activities include at least 1 hour of outdoor physical activity, 8 to 9 hours of night sleep, time for schoolworks, meals, hobbies, family time. If any of these activities are getting compromised due to screen time, the screen time should be appropriately reduced to accommodate these activities. Another point to keep in mind is to monitor the type of screen time that the kid is getting. There are basically two types of screen time, passive and active. We call it passive when the kid is aimlessly scrolling through videos or playing some mindless games or passively watching television. So basically all the activities where the kid is not using his brain, and this type of screen time is bad. In contrast, active screen time is when the kid is actively using his brain, like solving a puzzle, learning a new skill, interacting with someone, etc. So as much as possible, active screen time should be encouraged. Now you are determined to protect your kid's eyes and health, and you know what to do. But do you know how to do it? If you are planning to go to your kid and say, no screen time from tomorrow, stop doing it, that is not going to work, because screen time is a habit that got hardwired into our brains, and breaking these habits is a long process, and that long process starts with a first step, and that first step is you. Let me explain. Kids are master imitators and you are their role model. They carefully observe whatever you are doing and imitate you and mirror you. So if you are on phone or watching TV for most of the time, and if you are expecting your kid not to watch screens, that's not going to work. So the first step is practice what you preach. Reduce your screen time first. Use mobiles only when it is required and spend time with your kids for the rest of the time. And once you have done that, you are ready for the process. There is a great book called Atomic Habits. I'm sure some of you might have heard about it. In that book, habits expert James Clear explained 4 laws to break a bad habit, and we will apply those laws to reduce screen time. The first law is to make it invisible. How can you make screens invisible? Whenever not in use, keep phones, tabs, TV remotes in places that are not easily accessible to the kids. Mark digital free zones where no family member gets to use the cell phones. The second law, make it unattractive. How can you make screen time unattractive? Explain the kids the harmful effects of screens. Kids love stories. So tell them a story how some kid ended up in thick glasses by spending too much of time on screens, or how some kid failed in an exam due to mobile addiction. These stories subconsciously make screens or gadgets unattractive in the minds of kids. The third rule, make it difficult. How can you make screen time difficult? Keep screen locks and passwords to your devices. Use parental controls. Set specific times only when they get the screens. Do not use screen media during meals, within 1 hour before sleep, or during travel. And finally, these habits are very difficult to eliminate because they provide a psychological satisfaction to the kid. You can only eliminate a bad habit by replacing it with a better habit that gives a similar psychological satisfaction. So, when the kid says that he is bored, don't give your phone. Actually, boredom is the first step of creativity. So, whenever the kid says he is bored, spend time with them. Identify what they are interested in. It can be painting, drawing, acting, or some sports. So whatever they are interested in, identify them, nurture that habit, carefully direct them towards these good habits, and encourage them whenever they achieve something. And this brings us to the fourth law, make these good habits satisfying. Every time they stick to the scheduled screen time, reward them. Reward doesn't mean giving chocolates or gifts. Your words of appreciation is the most effective form of reward. So encourage them, appreciate them for sticking to the screen time, celebrate their every win even if it's a minor one. And finally, they're watching you more than what you realize. So be a role model for them and I'm sure they'll follow you. What are your tips to reduce screen time? Let me know in the comment section. And if you find this video helpful, don't forget to share it with your loved ones. Let's meet again with another interesting video. Until then, take care of your eyes.